So, round 2 predictions, man. Welcome back to Just the Facts. My name is Jimmy, and today we're going to talk about the Raptors-Celtics second round series, 2-3 matchup. And this is going to be a very, very fun series to watch, man. Both teams took care of business in round 1. Both teams have title aspirations, and both teams have very, very good players. You got some great matchups. You got Siakam versus Tatum. You got, Lowry and VanVleet versus Kemba and Jaylen Brown. You got Brad Stevens versus Nick Nurse, and two very good defenses. So, prior to this, I had the Raptors winning in 6 or 7 games. But let's see if I change my mind on this selection. So heading into the series, injuries, so we got to talk about it. Kyle Lowry, tweaked ankle. We don't know his status for game 1. That's going to be huge. Obviously, Kyle Lowry's the most important player on the Raptors, and we just got to see how severe his ankle is. I don't think it's too severe, but he might end up missing game 1. Let's see, for the Celtics, Gordon Hayward's out. That's going to be a huge loss for them because of the fact that the Raptors have a amazing defense, of course, and you just want an extra scorer out there, extra ball handler, extra guy that can create off the dribble. With Gordon Hayward not being out there, they'll struggle a lot. And they didn't really struggle against Philly, but they're going to really struggle against the Raptors defense. And also, with there being a lack of bench scoring for the Celtics, man, I think it's going to be really hard for them to score at times. I think they'll go on a couple really dry spells offensively, and that's going to really hurt them in this series. It would be great to have guys off the bench who can score, but they have Enes Kanter and Brad Wanamaker, and they might play Semi Ojeleye or Grant Williams some minutes. And, aside from Kanter, who I actually think will play a good amount in this series and play a nice little role in this series, there's no real scoring out there, Not even Marcus Smart and Daniel Tice, they're not even scorers. So it's really 3 scores for Boston that you're really, really concerned about. The rest of the guys, I guess the Raptors will be willing to leave them open. So does that mean Tatum or even Kemba has to average 30 in this series in order for them to win? Yeah, I think at least one of these guys will have to average 30. More so Kemba, I believe. I think he can easily take Lowry and VanVleet off the dribble, even though they're both pretty good defenders. And the big thing for the Celtics offense is that I think the Raptors are going to condense the court a little bit. They're going to leave Marcus Smart open. They're going to leave Daniel Tice open, who likes to shoot the 3-ball a lot himself. Even though Marcus Smart's been a better 3-point shooter throughout his career, I think the Raptors are just willing to leave him open as much as possible, force Marcus Smart to beat you and not Jason Tatum, And speaking of Jason Tatum, I think his playmaking is going to be a big key in this series. Obviously, I know he's not going to absolutely destroy this Raptors defense. At least I don't think he will. But I feel like at times they will try to hound Tatum, try to double him, and try to just get the ball out of his hands as much as possible. And he's going to have to make the right play a lot of the times, The Raptors will also leave Daniel Tice open. As I said before, he likes to spend a lot of his time at the 3-point line. And, they're just going to dare him to shoot threes. They're just going to dare him to make shots. I don't think Gasol or Ibaka is going to come out there. And if Tyson's not hitting shots, it's going to look real ugly for the Celtics. Kanter could play a role in this series. Hopefully the Raptors don't expose him too much on the other end of the court. But offensively, Kanter can help you get easy buckets around the rim, easy putbacks, easy offensive rebounds. As I know, Boston would tend to go on some scoring droughts in this series. Getting second chance points will be a big thing. But like I said, on the flip side, Kanter's defense is absolutely horrendous, and he's pretty much unplayable defensively in the playoffs. I expect the Raptors to put him in a ton of pick and rolls with Lowry and VanVleet. And speaking of VanVleet, I think Fred VanVleet will need to have a huge series. But definitely I'd say Fred VanVleet needs to be the second best player of this series, in my opinion. Just because I know Lowry will just look to get his teammates involved and look to just make the right play most of the time. And I think Fred VanVleet, he's been in a good groove. He's playing really, really well versus the Nets. He did in that series. So I expect him to just continue what he's been doing. This is what I wanted to see from Fred VanVleet all along. Last year he had a very slow start to the playoffs, actually. So him starting off the playoffs pretty damn good this year is a big sign for the Raptors. As for Spicy P, he has been pretty disappointing. He's averaging 20 points in the playoffs right now, but his efficiency went down. That's where my concern lies, is that can Siakam be that guy? And what I mean by that guy is, can he be the guy that the Raptors go to in a critical moment where they need a basket? Can he do that for stretches of time, 2, 3, 4 possessions in a row? Can he be that guy to just score? That's my real concern with this Raptors team, and Pascal Siakam in particular. And obviously Kawhi was that guy to take the last shot and to really just go down and get a bucket. I'm not sure if Siakam has that instilled in him yet. The team will look to you and tell you to go get a bucket, and that's going to be interesting to see for the Raptors in a close, tight game. Obviously, we know the Celtics have two guys that can do that. They have Jason Tatum and they have Kemba Walker, who, are very, very comfortable with the ball in their hands at the end of games. That's going to be a real thing to look for. It'll be Fred VanVleet, I feel like Fred VanVleet has more of that mentality of just going out there and just getting a bucket. I feel like Siakam tries to just make the right play a little bit too much at times. But with Fred VanVleet, he just doesn't care. He's going to come at you fearless, aggressive, to take over games and to take last shots. Obviously, we know Kyle Lowry's dealing with an ankle injury. We don't know if he's playing for game 1 yet, but whenever he comes back, I expect him to be pretty solid as well. The only thing I'm asking for Kyle Lowry is just don't be terrible. Don't score 0 points. Don't just go 0 for 8 or whatever. We've seen in the past from Kyle Lowry. I don't think that's too much to ask for. But for me, man, the X factor in this series is just the depth, man. The Raptors are so deep. I mean, like, you got the original starting 5, which is a really, really solid starting 5. And then you have Ibaka off the bench. You have Powell off the bench. Those two guys who start on pretty much most teams in the NBA. And then you got a guy like Terrence Davis who can come in, and he's been pretty good on both sides of the ball this season. Compare that with the Celtics where, Gordon Hayward's out. And even when Gordon Hayward was in the lineup, the Celtics' depth is just lacking, you know what I mean? The only bench player I really trusted was Marcus Smart, and now he's in a starting lineup. So really there's no other guy to trust out there for the Celtics except like the starting 5. And that's the difference for me, man. The Celtics really have no bench scoring at all, while the Raptors have two 15-point scorers, man. So that's going to be the difference for me. And with that being said, man, I'll go with Raptors in 6 games. I just feel like Raptors' depth will just be too much for those guys. The Celtics have little room for error. I think Jason Tatum will struggle in a couple games. But let me know what y'all think, man. Let me know who's the biggest X factor in this series, man. Let me know who wins and in how many games and why. But with that being said, man, this is Jimmy from Just the Facts. Thanks for watching, and I'm signing out. Peace.